And we begin another adventure as we are moving into the second round of this 3-round series for this tournament with the Fox clan. In the top of the map, in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Tunison. And his opponent. In the bottom of the map, playing as Zeus. His name is Eric BR. Eric BR just coming off the back of a nice 3-2 win over Super FM. The way that this tournament works, there's 3 rounds. We just saw Eric versus Super FM. Now we're going to be seeing Tunison versus Eric. And then we will be seeing Tunison versus Afim. The person with the most wins at the end of the rounds wins the tournament. It's as simple as that. But a completely different type of player now coming at Eric with Tunison, as he is very much known for his Atlantean rather than his Egyptian. As Hecate's torch in the grasps here of nobody, but will be Sushma Bas as well on the map. The map is Blue Lagoon to kick this series off with, and Chariot of Cybele. Going to be sitting on that position as well. And finally, Head of Orpheus. So, interestingly enough, this series is going to kick off with, technically speaking, both of these players' main gods. Now, Eric will tell you that he's not really a Zeus main on Retold. He was a Zeus main on Legacy. He obviously loves playing Zeus. It's one of his favorite gods. But maybe not his best god at the moment. That's what he'll tell you. But in his heart of hearts, he is 100% a Zeus player. Tunison, on the other hand, very, very good at his Oranos. He is an Oranos main through and through. He's got 2 different types of Oranos he can play. 3 probably, if you count going for the Sky Passage Far Second Town Center. I wouldn't really expect to see that in this specific matchup. But he can go for Prometheans, and he can go for those Mamilo, Bite of the Shark sort of technique as well, if he wants to. As a couple of goats getting stolen away here. And it looks like Tunison, he spots it and he steals it. But there is a scout over here being very, very obnoxious as he steals the goat back. Just bolt the oracle. Just bolt it. Just call it a day. Bolt the oracle. Take the goat. Call it a day. No. Okay, he's not going to. All right. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. We see Athena and Oceanus. So, unfortunately, for all the Promethean lovers out there, we will not be seeing the Promethean spam. We're also not seeing Eric going for what he really likes to do, which is going to be Centaur. He really does like his Centaurs, but against Oranos, Centaur are a little bit underwhelming, to say the very least, with those Caladria out there to sort of slow them up. Now, Centaur do counter Caladria in a way, but you need to have enough of them out. They can one-hit a Caladria with their cannot miss Centaur shot. As Tunison is now starting to move across the map, he's putting these sky passages down everywhere. It's an interesting technique here because you have a lot of walking time. It takes 20 seconds to build up a sky passage, but you're going to have access to this hunt and you're going to have access to this hunt, able to jump between the 2 of them as you see another sky passage coming up over here. Personally, I would suggest to Oranos players as a whole to put their sky passage in their base next to their town center. That way, the villager popping out of the town center is going to pop through the sky passage and be right onto the resource. But we do see a town center coming up for Eric, so an immediate Far Second Town Center here. And our Oranos player, Tunison, will not be spotting this. But he knows what's up, and he's going to be putting the town center down. Oh, is he? Hello? No, he's... He just walked over here. Huh? Alrighty, well, a second town center for Eric. He claims this food over on this side. And at this moment, it looks like Tunison has committed to producing some Murmillo at this point. He's going to be going for an attack, trying to find some damage. There's villages here he can attack. There's villages here he can attack on these berries over here. The food villages on this hunt is going to be a little bit challenging to attack, but he might be able to do so. As Eric, for the time being, does spot these guys coming in. The temple going to be getting harassed in, but the villagers, they are under attack, and he's going to be getting them cut off. They're stuck. As one villager there manages to squeeze through. So one villager kill there for Tunison in the early stages of the game, as the temple going to get torn down. Stealing away that Hecate's torch is going to be very, very important for his success moving forward. There's the relic getting picked up here for Eric. He's just going to drop that off. Like, he can drop the Hecate's torch down out onto this side if he wants. He's done so. As he drops it there, he's going to pick it up. He knows how important that relic is. But unfortunately for Eric, he doesn't have any real units here. He's making a couple of hoplites on that side. There's the watchtower upgrade, as Tunison is going for a very, very aggressive approach in this game. The Minotaur coming over here to say good day, but there is one here in Murmillo for the time being. I don't see the Caladria in just yet, but the damage a little bit much here, it seems, for Eric. As that Minotaur comes and gets a big smack away, and the poor Murmillo caught out will have to sit behind those trees and lose his life ever so quickly here, as he is very upset about all things that happened to him in this game. Whoa. But Tunison going to continue to apply the pressure. He's back in to say hello. The tower almost down. The villagers retreating away. The Caladria can come through, get that pacify onto the Minotaur. Has managed to distract over here. There is access to Carnivora if he wants to drop it down. He does do so as the restoration coming through. Bolt to come in as well. Shockwave not going to be getting dropped just yet, as the Jason gets caught away there. 8 HP remaining on that one. Medium infantry comes through, but after the dust settles, Tunison decides to retreat away, and it looks to me like Eric has held this initial aggression. Both the relics coming into the temple. And now Eric can start thinking about making some more Minotaur here. He's getting an archery range down. A couple of Terma are already out for Tunison, so he's sort of prepared for what Eric wants to do here. As the villagers for Eric moving into this corner. There is a way in which Tunison can punish this by jumping up to this position, like poking over here with a handful of units, and the rest can just jump through the sky passage up to here and then push into this corner. But the question is, does Tunison see this or not? The answer is he could know. He very much could know here. He's got an oracle over here as well, but he's never going to assume that the villagers will run through here. So we do see a nice wall for Eric. As the Murmillo coming in. Shockwave is an option here to get some damage done onto those villagers. Opting to not use it, though. Finally takes down that pesky tower. You have to remember that Eric's got gold mine, gold mine, gold mine all around this top position. So even if he pushes Eric off of this gold mine, there's still plenty of other places for Eric to go in this game. As Tunison still trying to push forward here. He can take down these houses if he wants. He's going to decide to do so. Every little bit of damage matters when you're playing a one town center game. Otherwise, your opponent is just going to get further and further in front of you here. As the Minotaur does end up falling, there's the shockwave coming a couple of units around onto the left-hand corner there to take out those villagers on the gold mine. The Terma trying to get around here, taking a lot of damage doing so. They snipe down one Toxote before turning back onto those hoplites. Snipes another one onto that spot, still trying to get those shots off. Picks off another Toxote there as the hoplites will be retreating away, but a lot of villager kills coming through here from Tunison. He's getting the damage in. The tower's trying to hold on to this position as the Murmillo coming through to pick up even more villagers here as they're going to dive into that town center. And the damage has been done. Tunison now needs to decide what he's going to do with his advantage moving forward. Does he drop a town center now? Does he keep going balls to the wall? Or is it a heroic age angle? He's got the food to go there. The gold is not in just yet. Now we see a market for Eric. He is up onto this gold mine over here. Hyperion going to be the heroic age god of choice here. I don't mind the idea, but I think part of me thinks that Hyperion might be a little bit of a... It's not a terrible idea because you do have Bellerophon coming at some point, but I think that the Thea with the Dryads to bolster these Murmillo would be really, really good. But even after all the damage, it looks like Eric has managed to figure this one out. We do see a cheeky little dock getting dropped down here. A dock and a transport ship for the villager. Oh my god, he's doing it. He's doing it. Tunison is crazy. He has to delete a sky passage somewhere, but he's going to be able to push in over here and then be able to raid this spot here. Well, he's got a couple of units to come through as well. Still pestering over onto this spot. As the transport ship is in. Question is, will Tunison or will Eric notice this or not? The villager, not even going to be sneaky with it. Going to put it straight up in his face once the units come through. We see the army charging onto that position there. The Hyperion is now coming through as Tunison. I would just retreat back and say, all right, let's get up into this spot and make it happen. A couple of units coming through to start raiding onto these giraffe. There's just units everywhere in this game onto the economy of Eric. And all he has to do is hold here. He's got the 2 town center advantage, but the more damage he takes, the further in front Tunison is going to be able to get with his technology and everything else that comes from it. There's now a whole bunch of units to pop through over here. There is another shockwave. If he wants to, he could shockwave the villagers over as well. As Eric's hoplite army pushing over here, we've got the Carnivora to get dropped down. Another bolt there onto the Carnivora. That is advantage. Tunison's a very expensive bolt. And Tunison is going to say, no worries, let's retreat back. I've got heroic age coming in. Let me wait for heavy infantry and I'll try and find a fight elsewhere. You can also pop in and out of this sky passage to get that damage done, but he's got to be careful to not get trapped here, which is what's going to be happening. Chaos gets dropped down. Another sky passage onto this spot as well. Heavy infantry is pre-queued, but he does not have the resources for it just yet as the hoplites onto the back line there to take down those Terma. And Tunison's Murmillo army looks like it will be fading here as the Citizen does manage to finish off the sky passage. But, I mean, what else is in here for Tunison? He's got nothing in the sky passage. He's still getting villager kills all over the place, but this is, technically speaking, like so much income damage done. But if Eric stabilizes here, which is looking like he's going to be able to do, the villager count is in favor of Eric. And now the military count as well. There's some farms to come up on this side. More Murmillo starting to charge forward, but He is, yes, he is behind the age, though. That's the big advantage at the moment for Tunison. So if he can get himself heavy infantry, all of a sudden his Murmillo are going to be very, very scary for Eric. And Eric isn't even close. He's only now putting farms up. Farms in the main base. Lots of villages on favor here to spam bolts and restorations through this game. We're even seeing a couple of Arcus getting mixed in. Do these hoplites have that bonus armor? They got 28%. They do have Aegis shield, but no armory upgrades. Tunison does have copper mail, but no copper weapons just yet. It's now heavy infantry to come through. Population differential, 61 to 68 in terms of military. Still very, very close here. Another Toxote falling. And now Tunison looking to take another fight. He does not have himself the chaos, the restoration to come through. Tunison cannot realistically retreat away from this as those hoplites are so quick at 4.9 speed. Shockwave does end up getting dropped down. It's a big spend, but the Murmillo will be able to clean up those Toxotes on the back. The hero is able to get through onto the Satyr, cleaning that one up. And Tunison's army, yet again, falling to the power of the Greek army and God power spammage of Eric. Tunison going to have to back up all the way into his main base. He's got to get himself something out here which can beat this army of Eric. I wouldn't be surprised if Eric's going to start getting himself some armory upgrades here as well. He doesn't have an armory up, but he can definitely think about moving that way. Does he have a market up? He does, so he can just go to the heroic age instead and look to get himself those line upgrades as a different option as the Murmillo raids still coming in, still sniping villages. Going to get a villager kill here, it looks like, as Eric has to react to this with a whole bunch of hoplites. Meanwhile, the army looking to clash in the center of the map again. Sniping down the Jason. We see the Carnivora getting dropped down. That's Tunison. He's just crashing into this army. He's not full population just yet. He knows he needs to continue to fight, but just not dropping a town center at any point here is making things very, very challenging for him to really solidify his advantage. Because every time he pushes in, he's getting villager kills, but that's about it. And then the villagers just keep coming through for Eric. But he does get himself that upgrade frontline heroics. He can make a lot of Murmillo heroes very, very quickly. There's a little bit of damage onto the town center before Tunison decides to retreat back. Eric's still got 15 villagers on favor. He's got a 99 favor restoration in his grasps right now. He can drop that whenever he wants. And 190 population of army here. This is going to be a very difficult army to kill. Eric decides it's time to go as another restoration in. And Tunison will need to retreat back. Now the Murmillo going at it here, but the Arcus on the back, I mean, they don't have the heavy upgrades, so they're kind of just a little bit average, so to speak, on this fight. The Murmillos, however, should be getting some good trades in, but it looks like the army here for Eric just too strong. He's got too much population. The restoration's too strong. Tunison still trying to kite back here. Spacing those Toxotes is very, very important. The Arcus for Tunison, 4 speed versus the 4 speed of the Toxotes, should mean that you can forever space those Arcus if you so choose, but very, very challenging. Meanwhile, Hoplight's coming over here to snipe down the Oracle. And Eric is going to be looking for some serious value on this spot. Couple of Contarius in. And now Eric has managed to advance through Dionysus here. But looks like Eric's army might get caught out of position ever so slightly as the Arcus of Tunison starting to come through. Still no heavy Arcus. Tunison's now got himself the second town center. Villager differential still favoring Eric ever so slightly here. But there's going to be a point where Tunison can't get any villagers out anymore. You do see a nice little raid coming through with those Kontaris sniping some villagers down. Can definitely distract with that one. He still has this transport ship here that'll allow him to move around. But we see Eric with the very cheeky walls to just completely lock this position up. Still going to be a couple of villagers getting taken out, as now the town center for Eric starting to get taken down as well. So much favor in the bank here for Eric as he's ready to use another restoration, or potentially another bronze if he wants to. But the restoration gets dropped down. Tunison retreating back, says, okay, we'll wait it out. Restoration does take itself a minute and a half to come through right now with the relic. Now we see the Sons of the Sun tech coming through for Tunison. He needs some more favor income. He's been short on oracles for a very, very long time. Super important to have like at least 6 out, if not more. But Eric is going to be looking to make a really big push soon. He's got himself heavy infantry coming through. Heavy range soldiers as well, pre-queued. Grabbing the gold mine in the center of the map. And we see Tunison grabbing this forward town center as this game is getting very, very messy. Now, one good thing here for Tunison is with the Sky Passage, he can very easily say, I'm not going to be in this spot. Come and attack me here. You can kill everything. No worries. I'm going to teleport onto this front and I'm going to go for your main base. And we start looking at a bit of a base trade situation while the bronze is going on, and then return to defend after the bronze is finished. Good little retreat away here from Tunison, getting some nice snipes in as the hoplites, however, coming over to clean up the Sky Patches. The citizens will be making a break for it up to this top gold mine as a whole bunch of Hero Arcus will start to get converted. Look at the queue here, however, for Eric. Does he have himself a fortress? No fortress to like get himself to the Mythic Age, but it doesn't look like it matters. Heroic Renewal will be coming through as well for Tunison to try and make those heroes a little bit stronger, gives them a little bit more hit points and the regen. As the town center for Tunison looks like it will be falling to the might of this Zeus. And he's almost ready for another restoration after all is said and done. 22 villagers on favor here. 22. Are you kidding me? A citizen falling on this spot as well. As the army for Eric dealing with all of that. He's going to have to rotate down to the bottom, however. This town center has gone up. One in the middle as well for Tunison, as he's just going to continue to try and figure this game out. But, you know, Eric's army looking mightily strong here. So hoplite falling. Meanwhile, over here, a little cheeky wooden wall getting knocked down to allow those Kontarius out, but a Hydra coming to greet them. The town center, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It will finish, but it's immediately going to be getting torn down. That being said, Tunison gets the units out. So do see a cheeky little Sky Passage on this side. Tunison can teleport over there if he wants to. Does he have... He does have all the units inside of the Sky Passage as he's ready to move up here. The hero situation, however, is looking very, very nice. It's the town center, however, for Eric going up in the middle. It's going to be 3 town centers versus 3 town centers. Hecate is pre-queued for Tunison. He's got himself the palace. Eric, still no fortress, but he does have the middle town center here. This game has been incredibly intense as the Hydra are going to go down instantly to that massive heroes. With Tunison retreating back into his main base. Not wanting to really take a fight. The villagers, however, getting spotted on this spot. No Sky Passage here is a big mistake. A palace coming up on this spot. This is the final... Oh no, there's a gold mine over here as well. If Tunison wants the Sky Passage, teleport over there. As the units here for Tunison will need to move somewhere. And where else are his Sky Passages? I don't see any other ones. There's one in the main base. We can run. There's the army here for Tunison coming forward, finding Eric out of position yet again. But Eric, though, saying, I don't care about that position. Let me just kill this back base and call it a day. Tunison's still trying to get Mythic Age here. It's looking like he's going to be able to be there. How much is the market? He could sell a little bit of food for that last little bit of gold. He denies the fortress, which is a big, big deal because Eric still doesn't have that age up just yet. So the Mythic Age for Tunison will be coming in first as these citizens are very sneaky into the corner of the map with a potential sky passage. Could be very, very big. But town center falling on this side means Tunison, he needs to either kill this town center and take it for himself or kill this town center and take care of himself because this is going to go down very quickly for Tunison. As the Hoplites Toxotes getting cleaned up in the middle, the Peltasts going down as well. Arcus swinging around to the right-hand side here, looking for a little something to go to. So these Arcus will end up falling. Eric's got 28 on favor. He's got 258 favor. How many bronzes do you want, my friend? At some point, enough is enough. Tunison's still without ballistics. He's now going to be getting that in. That's going to help him out a ton. The villagers going to grab this town center. It's going to be 4 to 2 town centers. There's a whole bunch of palace to come through and answer to these hoplites that is even better than the Mamillo is going to be fanatics. Another option could be destroyers here, actually. He's going to be able to lightning storm twice in a row at this point. The double palace up on this position. There's not that many units here for Tunison. He is about to be able to drop a Tartarian Gate in the main base. He could deny the favor income. Kill the temple. Has a couple of Contarius to charge in here. He drops the Tartarian Gate down. But the Hoplites and the Toxotes are on their way. A whole bunch of units queued up. Tunison still doesn't have fortified town centers. It's coming through, however. Architects as well on the way. Restoration, bronze, both used in tandem here to break through. The town center is going to be falling down. The Tartarian Gate in the main base of Eric, however, is going to be doing a lot of damage. The question is, however, will Tunison ever be able to kill this mass of Greek army with infinite bronzes? Not infinite, but at least another bronze and restoration in the bank pretty much already. As the citizen's he's gonna take the town center for himself as well. No, that's just Tunison. Tunison going for it. It's a bit bold, but he's going for it. As the Contaria is still looking for villager raids all over the place. You never resign when you're in front on the score is the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Hydra's taking this all out. We do have the Lampede to help out on this position. Tunison, he's got himself into this position. Can he somehow pull himself out of it? The Tartarian Gate slowly taking apart these positions. These guys are on Smoko here, just sort of sitting around not doing anything. Whereas all of these hoplites are just raging through. Fanatics coming in. Contarius, Mermillo. These units very, very strong. And Eric now needs to retreat out. He's gotten very little food income. And the town center will be falling here. Meanwhile, over here, however, the palace going down. Tunison's getting gold on this spot. He's on one town center. He's down a ton of population. But Eric is the one who is... I don't know if he's struggling, but he's seemingly not able to convert here at this moment. As now Tunison going to get his town center back up. His main base is going to be getting erased. There's 320. He's got 29 villagers on favor now. Another bronze will be coming. He's got 10 seconds until it's available. Tunison pushing forward. This is a 122 population Greek army ready to do exactly the same thing again. There's a cheeky little sky passage on this spot. Hoplites swinging around to try and deny the town center, but it's already up. Arcus in position to push Eric back. As we do see the cheekiest of cheeky palaces on the back position here. Can make some fire siphon and get that damage done while Eric is not paying attention. You got to be really, really careful with these. My suggestion for those of you doing this yourself is to put the fire siphon into your palace and then wait for your opponent to attack you or you to attack them and then move it out in tandem there. Right now is going to be a great point because Eric dropping the second bronze of the game here. Ready to push forward. We see the chaos getting dropped down. Restoration in response. It is God Power spamming day here. And the recipient of the spam is going to be the Zeus player, Eric BR. As those Arcus all getting cleaned up. Murmillos getting cleaned up as well. But look at this. The fire siphon going unchecked here as that bronze has got 7 seconds left in it. Tunison, however, not able to get himself units out. His resources are struggling. He wants champion infantry, but it's not going to be coming in anytime soon. The Fanatics getting it onto the back position here, but the army of Eric is very, very strong. Eric paying attention over here, though. He does spot the fire siphon. As another fire siphon over here will be getting taken down. He can continue to put pressure onto this spot, but the town center here will be getting cleaned up. Another Carnivora and another bolt. It's raining bolts, ladies and gentlemen. The Carnivora costing 35 favor, but that bolt 65 favor now. As Eric continues to say, I don't want to deal with your myth units. I don't want to deal with your god powers. The town centers are falling here. Tunison in absolute disarray in this game as the hoplites now coming to clean up this palace. Eric, 3 town centers, losing this one. Tunison can pop through and grab this town center for himself if he so chooses. He's just continuing to jump in and out and around in these sky passages. But Tunison has got very little gold left in this game. There is a gold mine here with 24 gold. There is a gold mine over here with 800 gold. Eric has got 3,600 gold. This gold mine here, 348. This gold mine here, 3,000 gold. There is next to nothing left on this map. This is the most important position on this map. No one cares about the town centers. There's no way to start a trade route here. There's too much chaos. This game is set to end at some point here. But Tunison can't even get himself out an army. As the hoplites charging forward. Arcus shoot and scoot micro to save their lives. Diving into the sky passage. They've got one more on the map, but it's down here. He gets the town center up. But he's got no gold. Market situation. He can sell food. There are a whole bunch of farms here he can steal. This game is absolute chaos. There's still 300 gold left over here, but Eric is now claiming this gold mine and walling it up. And Eric's got enough resources almost to go to the Mythic Age. A lightning storm here is going to be game ending. And let's not forget, with 220 favor in the bank and 25 villagers on favor, that's not one lightning storm. That's 2. There's the Toxotes over here getting cleaned up. The Murmillo fighting it out on this position. Toxotes ready to join in. They're going to be cleaning up all those villagers. Finally, Tunison realizes he needs to raid the favor gathering position. There's another fortress to come down. Or finally the fortress to come down as Eric realizes he didn't finish it in the first place there. A bolt to come in as well onto what looked to be a water myth unit of sorts. As the wooden wall going to get broken down, the villagers desperate for gold in this moment. But Hera is clicked up. Do we see a market? Yes, we do, but there is a wall already over here. Now, the donkey caravans will sneak by this place. Eric might not see it. He might see it as well, but he might not. You never know. As the sky passage is in, the villagers coming through, he should take every villager he can to try and mine that gold mine out as fast as humanly possible. Look at this Greek army of destruction marching through. Look at there's 8 hoplites queued up. Eric has got an infinite amount of units to come into this game. As a little bit of gold. Oh, I like this little move here. The citizen making a bit of a retreat away, which means the citizens can just pull back. Bronze comes in. Bronze comes in and Tunison says goodbye. Hide the citizen. He is hiding it. Lots of villager kills coming in here, but this will alert Eric to his presence. The llama caravans starting. Will this get spotted by Eric or not is the big question. There's a mining camp here that might give this away. It's sneaking past over here. Oh, he sees the storehouse. He wants to clean this storehouse up. And a fortress back up onto this spot. But the villagers sneaking onto another gold mine. Tunison is back to full population. The town center is going back up, but Hera is in. Does he use it right here and charge the town center? What's the plan? Tunison's army is very spread out. He can dive into the fortified town center and retreat away. The hoplites are here. Lightning storm is dropped down. The army retreating into the town center. He has to make a break for this sky passage, and he's out of there. But the town center is gone. And he loses a decent amount of population for it too. Plus all the farms and a whole bunch of buildings. The town center is down. The units are retreating away. And where to next for Tunison? The trade route sitting idle here. He can go down to this town center. That's about it. He's got to clean up this wall. Eric has got himself a gold mine up here. It's got 1,600 gold left in it. You also have to remember, once the gold is done, guess who has got very, very strong myth units he can build for the cost of food and wood. Hydra and Medusa. One, Eric, Benito, BR. But the army here for Tunison, still very, very strong here. As the hoplites, they have spotted the stray sky passage in the corner here. The dock going to get cleaned up. This game is absolute madness. The trade route is going, ladies and gentlemen. The trade route of Tunison is going. He's sneaking through. He's ready to hit this gold. It's already gone. The gold mine is already gone. There's another bronze in the back pocket here for Eric if he wants to use it. The villagers, however, peeling off of the gold mine. The problem for Eric is he's got no corner. So Tunison has got a trade route. He's going to be able to make heroes. Surely he's going to be able to make heroes here and deal with mass myth units at this point. But finally he comes in to clean up the Tartarian gate. The Tartarian spawns waiting for their moment to get value in this game. And value they do get. And finally, the longest Tartarian gate you will ever see in a game of Age of Mythology has been disposed of. It's the 95 golds here, giving Tunison some much needed life in this game. But look at this. 355 favor and a dream for Eric incoming. 57 favor a minute. In just over a minute, that's going to be another difficulty for Tunison. He can dodge it with the sky passage, but his army about to get caught out, spotted on this position. And Tunison will need to get out of here, losing a lot of units in the retreat path, as he's going to finally he's finally losing some serious units here, but he's got a trade route, so he's going to be able to get those units back. That being said, he needs to get damage done. Eric can get a market in this corner as well and start his own trade route. He has to do so. The Tunison Sky Pass is getting cleaned up. There's another one over here. The palace is up over on this spot. We're still seeing raids coming all over the map from Tunison. As the hoplites finally able to break in to this position. Lightning Storm is 20 favor away. Eric knows it. He's going to pull back, clean the palace, wait out that Lightning Storm before pushing. He can't lose units here. He knows he can't. He doesn't have that much gold. There's literally 280 gold left on the map. The army charging forward, getting every single little trade here is important. But Eric pulling the army away so he can drop Lightning Storm down. It's in. The second Lightning Storm of this game is in. But Eric holding off. A little bit of patience here. As the army now ready to push forward and take this town center down. There's a palace on the back. Tunison knows what's coming. The hoplites, however, onto the trade route. The differential in military population is stark here. Villagers trying to repair this one up. The Lightning Storm down and Tunison is out of here. The town center is gone. He's going to pull back into the Sky Passage. He's staying at very, very close to full population, but as soon as the units pop out, they all get cleaned up. As now Tunison is back in to take another fight. There's no restoration. There's no bronze. It's finally a fair fight. However, over here, the hoplites cleaning villages, cleaning llama caravans. And Tunison needs to get back in here. The Sky Passage not in on this spot. He's going to be dropping it down. As Eric now coming in to kill off this palace, the Arcus using this Sky Passage to the... I mean, this is the best Sky Passage usage you've ever seen. Am I wrong? Arcus cleaning up units beautifully on the back. The villagers need to bail on this position, it looks like. But Eric's army, for the first time in this game, is looking like it's starting to dwindle. He's got a trade route started going into the center of the map, but is it too little too late? There's favor coming up the wazoo. You can pump out Medusa here. The age of spamming god powers is over. It's time to fight with myth units. There's nothing else for him to do with the fate. Look at the wood in the bank. Tunison's got all the units coming in. He can pull back in. He's going to get the town center back. The hoplites still going after the trade route over here. I want to see a palace dropped. I want to see a wall over here. I want to see this position locked up for Tunison. It's the Arcus getting that shoot and scoot in. Trying to pull away. Bellerophon, a scary unit here. But a very, very gold intense unit. Sniping that down would be gigantic. The reinforcements are here. Eric needs to retreat back. He knows he just needs to bide some time here. How are the armory upgrades looking after all of this chaos is said and done? Full bronze with iron weapons. One peltast is now starting to come in. These peltasts cost next to no gold. They're a great unit here for Eric to be using. He's picking up the relics. The Lightning Storm is now 319 favor. 319. The Fire Siphon starting to come in. How will this game end? There's a whole bunch more markets to come down for Tunis, and he knows he needs to get some more llama caravans out here. He's at full population. Eric here, on the other hand. A restoration yet again. Carnivora getting dropped down. There's not enough favor for the Bolt. The first time in this game, this Carnivora gets a kill. As the Bellerophon not going to get sniped down. He does a jump. He bails out on it. Great control by Eric. As Tunison pulling back away. He's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. He's hitting the trade. He's getting value over here. There is too much happening in this game. Donkey Caravan's going down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Age of Mythology. As the Toxotes cleaning everything else up, but Tunison pulling back yet again. He's sitting at 200 of 235 population at the moment. Thank you for the raiding party, Magic. Hope your stream went well, my dude. Well, I don't even know what this game is anymore. Can Eric get himself out enough units? Can Tunison get himself out enough units? Eric is ready to use the next restoration, I'm sure. He's just taken every villager off of favor as he's been hit off of this position. This is what Tunison needs. He needs to deny those restorations from coming in. As the hoplites returning back over here to harass the trade route. Arcus coming in to snipe those Toxotes. Lots more Toxotes to come in for Eric BR. As the temple up in the center of the map because it's the only safe place, it seems, at the moment for him to get anything. Finally, Tunison realizes he needs some walls for his trade route. As he pushes the hoplites back. Eric's gold economy is struggling. Tunison's gold economy is struggling. The Arcus into the corner of the map, still trying to find something over here. How much population does this cost? It's only one, it's fine. Not a big deal. The Bellerophon coming back in, 36 HP in a dream. And he comes in and cleans up a Satyr. And does end up dying there. 230 pop versus 230 pop. Tunison kind of in, picking off villages. There's not enough favor still for the restoration. Eric desperately wanting it. Tunison's army managing to get in and clean this up. The Contarius still not champion at 47 minutes and 30 seconds into this game. Doing work, however, against this mass Toxote ball that is left after all the hoplites have fallen. Another Bellerophon produced after it's fallen. A consistent unit to spend that gold on. Very important. 400 gold costing, but it gets so much value. As Tunison needs to regroup here. The army for Eric still very, very strong. His trade route still only has 27, but looking decent. The wall's coming up over here to try and keep the trade from running straight through Eric's army. But it's still going to come through. He's going to get a lot of kills here. As the wall is going to get broken down, Eric knows what he needs to do. He's got to stop the trade. Going for that bottom town center is an idea, but realistically speaking here, the idea of picking off the trade is much more value in this moment. Eric's Warpath March has commenced. The Toxotes are immense here. And there's room for a restoration for the millionth time in this game. Eric slaps the fortress down, saying, "This is my position." The final restoration for Eric, it seems. As what else can Tunison do now in this game? His trade route put to rest. His army slain. His hopes of winning game number 1 falling to sleep. It is looking over for Tunison. What else can he do? He's trying to get units out, but he's got no gold in the bank. He put up a valiant fight, but in the end, Eric's God Power spammage was too much. What an insane one. And ladies and gentlemen, this is just game number 1. These two players are on another level. I don't know what else to say. Let's take a look at this post-game. Timeline. Eric BR. 1, 2, 3. Wait, I just want to see Eric's line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 God power usages in a game of Age of Mythology Retold. Are you kidding me? Military kill loss heavily in favor of Eric. Economy heavily in favor of Tunison, but not enough to find the victory. If you don't like this, you don't like Age of Mythology. Let's get into game number 2. Game number 2. After the marathon, game number 1. These guys are ready to go at it again. Tunison in this game, moving into his second pick. It will be Thor. Eric, continuing in his line along the Greek gods, decides Hades is the way to go. For those of you wondering, Eric has just played an entire best of 5 already, then played that 50-minute game, and now he has to go again. That's how these tournaments work. You got to get that endurance in there. No breaks, no rest for the wicked. We are starving fans of Age of Mythology, starved for high-level Age of Mythology games. And it is your responsibility as a top player to give us those games. May it be decreed. May it be written down in stone. With chisel. Tusk of the Iron Ball here. Very, very nice. Cheeky little cavalry bonus there. Hades not really wanting to go into the cavalry very often, but it might be useful for patrolmen at some point in this game. Gambantine, Odin's wand here as well. Going to be a nice one to grab. Over here we've got that Hecate's Torch, minus 10% for the god powers. And at the top of the map, we do have the Scarab Pendant. Going to be boosting the base damage by 20% of Crush for siege units and siege myth units like the Scarab and the Behemoth. So Tunison, just going to be opening up with a very stock standard Thor opening here. Lots of villagers onto the wood, moving these gazelles in underneath the town center here, getting himself enough resources for a temple. If we take a quick look at his armory situation, he's got himself copper armor coming through. He's also going to be getting himself the copper weapons in, dropping himself the temple down. I like this build order. I like this opening. I do see some Thor players going for a couple of gatherers early on. Doesn't really matter which way you go about it. Either way, you're going to be getting all 4 upgrades. But this way, going for copper mail, copper weapons, then the hammer, and then going for copper shields, you're going to be getting only dwarves. Whereas if you go for some gatherers earlier on, you get the copper shields first, then you go for mail, then you go for weapons, then you go for the hammer. Apparently my names need to be flipperoonied. I flipped them. Thank you, chat. There's the temple up for Tunison now. Over here, we've already got a classical age coming through for Eric. So take a quick look at Eric's situation here. He didn't go for an early Vaults of Erebus, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that I've been sort of thinking about a little bit more of late. Now, against Thor, I'm not sure about this. This does mean he's going to be able to get a very, very fast second town center. Much faster than otherwise. And he's going to be able to get those villagers onto the temple and get... I would have left maybe one villager on the favor, actually. But nonetheless, he's going to be going for a really fast second town center. Athena going to be coming through. And we'll see how this is going to go for him. Because Tunison taken a very, very long time to get to the classical age. Spending those resources on technically just economy. He's got armor upgrades, of course, which are very, very nice, but mostly this is just to get his economy rolling. And to fight against this, Eric will be wanting himself that town center. The question is, which town center? As he decides to grab the center one. Over here we do have a Berserk coming in, wanting to get just a little bit of that scouting shenanigans in. As the Minotaur comes in and says, hey Berserk, would you like to escape from the clutches of this Minotaur and Ajax? And the Berserk says, why, thank you very much, Minotaur. I will get out of here and get out of your hair. Don't worry about me. And the Minotaur obliges. For those of you wondering, you can turn this off and then you can get a couple of slaps and then get the headbutt off. Most likely using that snare onto the Berserk, but you know, it's a bit of effort. Better to just focus on the things that matter, like getting the town center up and all the other good stuff. As the Longhouse coming through here for Tunison, wanting to start off with, I imagine, a bunch of Berserks to kick the game off with. I'm sure that Tunison is going to be fairly aware of a town center going up. He didn't scout, or he did scout it, there you go. So he knows exactly what's coming for him. So he can decide to either move forward and grab this town center for himself, or go for an all-in at this point. At the moment, he's getting up another Longhouse, so a little bit interesting there. As the villagers shoot down the hippopotamus over here. I'm going to be happily having that couple of villagers on favor already now. Zombing up on the front as well. Personally, I'm a fan of holding on to my Zom. I want to hold on to my Zom unless I need to use it defensively. If Eric is going to... Sorry, if Tunison is going to go for like a second town center here, which it looks like he's going to go for, I want to think about using my Zom, my first Zom, on like a fortress or something. It's really, really strong. Especially if you can use it nice and forward. But for the moment here, Tunison says, time for my town center. A little bit behind on the villager count now, as Eric's town center is very much paid itself off. And we're going to be seeing Vaults of Erebus coming through as well to give him even more of an economic edge starting now. But this is around about 4 minutes later than a Hades player would normally get this inside of the fast Vaults of Erebus build. You guys be the judge, jury, and all the other good stuff and decide whether or not Eric's approach here makes sense or not. Personally, I like it because he's got the position. I say this a little bit, actually. Maybe I'll give you a little bit of a case for why Eric, why this sort of an opening might be a little bit better if you're going to go for a fast second town center. I don't particularly care about 50 resources more, 70 resources more, 100 resources more. I care about getting position, getting the town center I want, getting me into a spot in the game where I'm going to be good. Judge, jury, and execution. You can execute if you like. As restoration coming in, lots and lots of pressure onto this position as the hoplites are getting some really good damage done. But it looks to me like Tunison's town center is going to barely finish up, and Eric's going to have to get out of there. His restoration is done. It's gone. It's going to cost him 90 favor to get another one out. But he got a lot of damage done onto units here. Now, unluckily for Eric, or luckily for Tunison, he's Norse. And losing military here, not the biggest of deals. If that was a different god, say Egyptian, or say Atlantean, he lost all those units building that town center, they'd be villagers. And he'd be in a very, very happy position. But they're not. There's a double Longhouse now up on this side. Ready to start pumping. We've got ourselves that Sarissa on the way for Eric. Hand axe as well to come through. As the Berserk on this side will get sniped down, and Eric is deciding to retreat out of here. As the hippopotamus ready to get eaten up in the middle of the map. He's got so many food situations, food sources here to grab with that town center. But the question is where to next, because Tunison, just because he lost some units here, just because he's behind a little bit on villager count, He's still got Thor, and Thor has got a ridiculous economy to come through. Now, the safest plan at the moment... is probably for Eric to just get himself a fully walled up base and just say, happy days. We're already seeing the walls over here, though, from Tunison. Very, very annoying. He's coming onto the other side to do the same thing, it looks like. A wall here and a wall here could be absolutely brutal. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to put it up on this side. This does get scouted by the tower, however, so Eric should have... Actually, does it? It's just outside of the tower range, so he's not going to see it. Eric moving around at the moment, going to be searching for something. These Berserks do get spotted by a Pegasus, so Eric will know exactly what's coming for him. A couple of hoplites and Toxotes in position to say hello there. As the villagers trying to make a break for it, these two Berserks wanted to get the walls up. Eric may or may not have noticed this. He still hasn't seen the walls, but this town center might get walled off. But meanwhile, we do have a nice raid coming through here. Gets a villager kill. The dwarves on this position are also out in the open. There's no defense here at the moment for Tunison. But with the army out of position, the Berserks can start taking some fights elsewhere and cause some problems. The dwarves need to bail on this position as well. There's a couple of thrown axemen taking some damage before retreating back into the main base. Meanwhile, over here, Berserks onto the villagers, getting one kill. He does have that Hall of Thanes tech in, so 5.3 Berserks flying around the map. As the Toxotes getting a couple of snipes over here, they're just retreating back into the main base. Couple of long houses now coming down for Tunison as the armory as well up. And Aphrodite going to be the god of choice as we see Bragi on the other side. So both players managing to get to the heroic age. But at 11 minutes and 35 seconds, Eric has to be feeling good about his position. He's got the center position locked down. He's got a 3 villager plus 2 villager technically with the Vaults of Erebus advantage here. As the villagers going to be trying to break through over here. And he's going heroic age through Aphrodite. He's going to be able to potentially get a mythic age in. And once you get the mythic age with Hades, once you get Artemis in, and once those shafts of plague Toxotes start coming in, life gets very, very difficult for the Norse player, for the Thor. As the Longhouse is going to get taken out here. Whole bunch of Berserks to come through. Over here, archery ranges to come in. And the Berserk simply going to be retreating back away. As Berserk falls, and Tunison going to be losing this Longhouse as well, but he does sneak a Berserk off into the corner. Very, very cheeky. You're going to be able to start up another side build over there. So Eric is... What Eric can do is he does have a Pegasus somewhere, right? So he can send it around searching on this corner just in case. But his Pegasus actually, it's over here. Getting chased by a couple of thrown axemen. The unkillable Pegasus. Look at him, just axes flying all over the place. But Eric's army is impressively strong at the moment. He's got himself 187 pop, 109 military. You can think about getting this town center as well if he so chooses. But I think just the Mythic Age just makes so much sense here, given the population situation. And the fact that Tunison is just trying to run around the map, walls kind of everywhere. But to some degree, this top position doesn't really matter, right? There's no gold mines. Yeah, there's food. Yes, there's wood. But really, the positions that matter are like here, 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 here. So raiding cavalry coming through onto this position. The villagers here going to be getting that fortress up as fast as possible. Nemean Lion to come in and get some taunt action happening here. There he goes. Going to be able to at least kill off 1 or 2 of those raiding cavalry as they retreat back into here, looking into the main base. We finally see the town center coming up. The side build is back up for Tunison, but what's he going to do with it? Because the town center will be finished, and even if he gets out a couple more berserks, they're not really going to do a whole lot. As Artemis pre-queued now for Eric. He's got a double fortress down in the center of the map. Still no real walls up for him just yet, which is allowing these berserks all around the position here. Hyun's asking, is this the finals? This is round 2. There are 3 rounds. You might not see the 3rd round today, though. Might be tomorrow. As the Achilles up here, the villagers getting some good shanks onto that bad boy. This is not this. Killing off an ox cart doesn't really do anything. The villagers could just rebuild it, and it's just annoying. That's all. The army now for Tunison charging forward. Artemis is coming through. Do we see Eric here with golden apples? You know, funnily enough, you can just do exactly what Eric did with Hades. Sorry, what Eric did with Zeus, but with Hades, if you get that golden apples technology. You can just put 20 villagers onto favor and then just be spamming restorations. Curse spam, not the best, but is an option. As he does drop the curse over here, there is a cheeky little hill fort on this spot, so Tunison can make his way through to break this down as we see another Zom to come through onto the front. The unit's trying to break through those battle boards, doing a lot of damage with the army coming around onto the back here. There's a thrown axeman getting cleaned up. Toxotes running forward as we see the first of what is normally many dwarven mines. As the army here, however, for Tunison coming through its spot, he spots the town center. He's got the units. He's got one portable ram and a dream. And Eric decides, you know what? I'm just gonna bail. Let me go after your main base, he says. Maybe. There's 2 portable rams. This is a lot of damage. I think Eric has to get back here and deal with this. He's got to come through and clean this all up, which will allow these units on the front to break through. But Eric's going to get his town center up. We've got Tyr pre-queued, but he's very far away for the time being. And Tunison splitting everything up here. As flaming weapons gets dropped down, the unit's charging in here as well. Toxotes retreating back. We don't see any sort of immediate... Oh, there's the Pegasus flying in. It's only got 9 HP. The Earthquake does get dropped down. That's going to be a dead town center and a ton of dead houses there. Meanwhile, a cheeky little hill fort on the back position there from Tunison. He is being as annoying as he possibly can with these side builds. He's now got himself a 3rd town center as well after everything is kind of calmed down. But losing the main town center, he has to come back in here and rebuild this one. Eric at the moment is going to say, all right, time to push into the main base. But with a hill fort completing in the main base here, there's going to be able to be a ton of portable rams and Huskarl and everything else charging in here. But meanwhile, with Eric being in the Mythic Age, still no golden apples. Okay, Eric is in the Mythic Age at the moment. He does not have himself Shafts of Plague. He needs to get that up. Needs to build more military buildings. The portable rams getting a couple of house kills. Look at this, 5 seconds from finishing. The rams will go down. The villagers here deciding to take matters into their own hands, turning around and shanking, but those berserks getting some great value. As Eric is in onto this spot, getting good damage. He's trying to get another restoration, and it looks like the hill fort over here going to get denied. The hill fort up in the main base, however, as Eric says, all right, time to get myself my own fortress here to defend. But Tunison's hill fort spam has begun. Champion infantry, Shafts of Plague. Villagers getting cleaned up. Tunison retreating out here. The hoplites searching. Searching for villagers. There's a gold mine up here. Chimera spots it. The dwarves have to retreat away. Another Zom into the main base. As Eric's Toxotes about to have themselves Shafts of Plague, about to become very, very powerful in this game. The champion hoplites as well. But Tunison winning on this fight. Tunison moving forward with a lot of units. The ox carts as well. What is happening here? Tunison going for the main base. Portable rams everywhere. Chaos on every corner. The hoplites and Toxotes cleaning up the town center. They will finish that one off. Chimera over onto this side, picking off the villagers, but the villagers managed to escape into the corner for the time being. Can Eric hold here or not is the big question. Perseus coming out. We see the Dwarven Mine in the corner here, in the very back position. Perseus cleans up one battle ball as the Perseus also cleans up with help the other portable ram, and Eric has managed, it looks like, to hold the onslaught from Tunison. Tunison at this point, the villagers popping out of the town center, losing all of those. Onto this position, the pacifists coming through to clean up those infantry units. And now, Tunison, in this moment, decides to tap out. The side build, the one berserk side build just gets so out of control here. But Eric stays calm under that pressure. Says, all right, I'll give you that spot. Let me take my middle. Let me push forward. And Tunison cannot manage to hold on here and make his craziness work. Eric off to 2 wins at this point. He is showing remarkable form in this series thus far. The only thing that is missing is some golden apples. But we'll see if we can keep it going into game number 3. Let's check it out. All right, guys, it's game number 3. Eric is 1 win away from actually becoming the victor of this Fox tournament. This Fox's War Series tournament. You only need... Well, yeah, if you get 6 wins, I believe it's impossible for you to lose, right? Because your opponent... Actually, no. That could be incorrect. If Tunison wins 2 games in this series and Eric wins 3, and then Tunison beats Afim 5-0, he will have more wins. So Eric needs to win as many as he possibly can here against Tunison to guarantee his victory. But we got Loki and we got Ra. Now, throughout the history of Age Mythology tournament, especially Retold, we've seen a lot of Egyptian versus Norse. We've seen a lot of Wadjet dominating Norse. Now, the Wadjet has been nerfed, but technically speaking, Ra got buffed to a degree in the last patch. Now, I'm not sure which version of Ra Eric is going to play here. This is going to drop a monument to the soldiers. I'm starting to feel like I understand which version of Ra Eric is going to play here. But with Ra getting a slight buff, and all of Egyptian getting a slight buff in the recent patch, also nerfs coming all across the board, but a slight buff to favor, a nerf to favor and a buff to favor. It was a weird one. Early game nerf, but trying to be a late game buff. Turns out the Ra players say, hey, if you're going to make this monument, which is quite cheap at 400 resources, even better, I'm going to build it even faster. As we see Tunison dropping a temple in the middle of the map. This is going to get scouted out immediately by Eric. There is this one idea I've got to kind of punish a really late advance with the monument spammage from the Ra player, and that is Heimdall. You can undermine if you spy the Pharaoh, which he has done, you can undermine the 4th monument as it's getting built into obviously a tower or the other monuments. And then you can run in and try and break them down before that favor starts coming in too crazy fast. But we've already got Force City queued up here for Tunison. And Eric, going to drop that temple down. And I wouldn't be surprised if Eric just sticks to 3 monuments here. He needs to move his pharaoh off of the monument to the villagers and pop it over to the priest to get the maximum amount of value. But he does want to finish up on this granary first and foremost before he moves over there, with the monument being in a bit of an odd position. And now he moves off the granary. Meanwhile, over on this side for Tunison, he's just playing stock standard Loki here. And I imagine he's going to be trying to pump out a whole bunch of Hersa. Oh, no, we're still seeing the monument to the villagers getting empowered. So losing out a little bit on favor. And it is going to be Bast after all is said and done for Eric in this game. As double longhouse down for Tunison. Tunison might be kicking himself. He knows exactly what's coming for him. This is the advantage of playing Loki. The biggest advantage of playing Loki is that you spy your opponent and you literally get to just have map hacks. So you'll see the monuments. You'll see everything going on. And now Eric does jump onto the monument to the priests here. There's Eric now under a lot of pressure. The Hersa going to start getting this damage done. Eric taking his sweet time getting to the next age here. The priest getting pushed back. As forward healing spring to come in. As Tunison is going all out. This rush here from Tunison. We see the throw and action getting sniped up. Double barracks getting dropped down here. Eric needs to just send a Sphinx straight into Tunison's base. Whenever you get rushed like this, if you're playing as Odin, if you're playing as Zeus, if you're playing as anything, that free myth unit just needs to go into your opponent's base because there's not going to be any protection there. As the temple going to get torn down. Now the villagers repairing this one back up with the empowerment bonus. That's going to be a very, very nice thing for him. So he's not going to be able to quite clean this up too quickly here as the Sphinx coming through to try and take out those throw and axemen on this side. He's got to get the troll or something to actually clean up the villagers. But killing off the temple makes some sense because this will slow down the Sphinx production here. All the villagers starting to get that damage done. The troll comes through, hits the villagers away, gets one villager kill as the axemen coming in to try and take out this position. We've got the eclipse to come in to try and shut this position down. The Hersa numbers are gigantic, however, on this position though. All of the Hersa getting cleaned up by those axemen, and this leaves the army of Sphinx to clean everything up as Tunison's army melts to the eclipse. And it looks like Eric has survived the rush. And Tunison is in a lot of trouble now. And the Sphinx, he doesn't even care. He loses one Sphinx, so that's a big find. But 2 Sphinx are going to be moving around and just into the main base. There's no Hersa here to defend. But even if there was one, there's 2 Sphinx to sort of split up. As Eric is going to wait on Hierarcho Sphinx. And we'll see if he can make it happen here. I mean, he's also got the healing spring, so he can heal up even faster on this spot. But the priest will be very, very quick. As Eric is going to continue to pump out Sphinx. Axeman Sphinx is going to be the unit of choice here for Tunison. Oh, not for Tunison, for Eric. So, technically speaking, the answer in the classical age, if there is one, is either like some form of troll Hersa, the trolls to kill off all of the axemen, or to send the axemen away from the Hersa, while the Hersa kill off all of the Sphinx. Or raiding cavalry Herser, if you can somehow manage to micro that fight and keep the raiding cavalry from getting obliterated. As the Hierarcho Sphinx to come through, villagers retreating back into the town center. The Sphinx are now in. And all of a sudden, Tunison's base is under a lot of pressure. He has to basically idle half of his economy as those Sphinx can just hang out underneath the town center for quite some time. The Herser are back. And they're just cleaning everything else up. Oh, does kind of lose a lot of HP. In fact, loses a Sphinx there. Nice find. Tunison's work, he's going to have his work cut out for him here to deal with all of these bad boys. It's the army for Eric slowly starting to march forward. More axemen, more Sphinx here. The problem for Tunison is that he's about to run out of gold. He's going to have to leave his main base. He's going to have to go into a gold mine. There is 75 favor in the bank, however, for Tunison. But what can he realistically do with that? I mean, he can put all of those dwarves after they finish on the gold and just make himself all the trolls. Look at this. This is kind of silly. Look at all these obelisks. Is Eric ready to send those Sphinx back into the main base? One little idea for dealing with this is to just leave some Herser like scattered in your towers or something, like close to the villages, and then the Sphinx will charge in. You can retreat to the tower and pop out the Herser. At least you get off some attacks onto a Sphinx if you do that sort of thing, onto a hero if you do that thing. Otherwise, your opponent just kind of runs around and makes your life very, very challenging. You see that Tunison, he's ready to take somewhat of a fight here. Will he be able to do so? You have to remember that he actually got... I mean, there's not eclipse left. Generally, at this point versus this strategy, there's an eclipse that can kind of wipe out this army. That eclipse doesn't exist. There's just 4 Sphinx, 5, 6 Sphinx. Though the villagers are in a lot of pain as the Herser come back home. Now moving over onto the gold mine. They're just going to keep on rotating around and tapping everything as the Herser are charging forward onto this position, ready to take out those Sphinx on the top here. Throwing Axemen about to get cleaned up as the Herser needs to get pulled back. But look at the Axemen here as Tunison going to be pulling back into this position. The Sphinx on the back line, however, as the Herser are getting wedged in over here. Tunison gets himself an Iron respawn. This could be big for him. As he blows that on there, the Herser, however, are getting cleaned up. And what really can he do? He's got a great concave here, but it's not going to be enough. There's all the Axemen falling. The Herser are going to be falling afterwards as well. And Tunison here looks like he is done for in this game as Eric BR manages to find 3 wins in this best of 5 series. Now, it is a play all the game series, so it's not over just yet, but he is the ultimate winner here against Tunison. So the only real way for Tunison now to win this tournament is for him to win the next 2 games against Eric and then beat Tunison 5 games. Not Tunison, beat Afim in 5 games. 5 games to 0. Eric is very, very close to claiming an overall victory here. I believe he only really needs, what, like 1 more victory or something? Maybe 2 more victories? Not 100% sure. But nonetheless, let's move into the next game.